It is Monday, September 29th.
This is The Warning.
And on this Monday, there is much to warn you about. What word in the English language best describes Attorney General Pam Bondi beyond shrill, belligerent, and corrupt? Now, I'm going to show you a video. This video, one day, it will be grounds for her disbarment. And Pam Bondi's a young woman, and she'll live a long life, hopefully. And hopefully, every second of it will weigh down on her so she can ponder her disgrace, her raising of her hand against her country. This despicable woman. What she is a fascist. Let's watch.
We're witnessing a new era of political violence. Assassins have tried to murder President Trump twice and tried to kill Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh. In Minnesota, legislators and even children attending Mass were gunned down in cold blood in two separate incidents. And an assassin targeted and murdered our friend Charlie Kirk. A sniper shot 3 people at a Texas ICE facility, and now more than 200 violent rioters were at a Chicago ICE facility chanting, "Arrest ICE, shoot ICE." At least one had a gun. We've seen this before. We saw it in Portland and with the LA riots. These are not peaceful protests. These are coordinated attacks by radical extremists, and they end now. Anyone who threatens or assaults our federal officers will be arrested and charged federally, not in some liberal state court. Same goes for anyone who's funding and aiding these extremists. You will be dismantled brick by brick. We are taking our country back. Make America safe again.
The dishonesty, the preening, the exclusion of violent incident after violent incident after violent incident because it does not fit her sick partisan narrative is beyond belief. Justice in this country, America, is supposed to be blind, but not anymore. Pam Bondi, a lawyer, the chief law enforcement officer of the United States, the runner-up to Matt Gaetz in the Trump contest to fill that job with a hack who would get on his or her knees for the Orange King, is all that was required. And Donald got his gal. You could say he grabbed her by the, well, we'll just leave it there. But here's the deal with Pam Bondi, who forgot about the kidnapping attempt on Gretchen Whitmer, who erased from history the assassination of the Democratic leader of the Minnesota legislature, not 8 years ago, not 7 years ago, but 2 months ago. Her husband was killed. Their dog was killed. And other Democrats were killed. And yesterday, a Mormon temple was attacked by a United States Marine veteran who lit it on fire. And on the other side of the country, another United States Marine veteran attacked a dock full of innocent people from his boat. Antifa, Pam Bondi? Should we prosecute all of the Marine Corps? Should we ask the Army to attack it? Is the Marine Corps now a terrorist organization? Or is the new definition of terrorism anybody with the integrity, the guts, and the grit to stand up against you, your thugs, your bullies, and call bullshit? Because bullshit is what it all is. In America, we have rights, and they don't come from Donald Trump. Let me give you an example of how the rights work, because they don't work the way the Florida skank suggests they do. They work the way Gavin Newsom has suggested they do. For instance, when he properly and correctly identified Stephen Miller, a little Eichmann, as a fascist. And make no mistake, Stephen Miller is as much a Nazi as was Joseph Goebbels. The difference between Goebbels and Miller is the years, is the language, is a clubbed foot, and a different boss. That's it. Let's watch the fascist Stephen Miller.
That party does not fight for, care about, or represent American citizens. It is an entity devoted exclusively to the defense of hardened criminals, gangbangers, and illegal alien killers and terrorists. The Democrat Party is not a political party. It is a domestic extremist organization.
Talk about his hate for you, his fellow Americans. And so Gavin Newsom said he's a fascist, using his newsroom account. And then the leader of the dipshit platoon of disgraceful Navy SEALs serving in the United States Congress from Wisconsin, Derek Van Oden, suggested that Gavin Newsom should be investigated and locked up by the FBI, run by the bug-eyed freak show Kash Patel. Think about that. A Navy SEAL elected to Congress thinks Gavin Newsom should be prosecuted because he dared to say that Stephen Miller is what he is, which is a fascist. Gavin Newsom should be locked up. I don't know, Derek, put against the wall. How many people should be locked up for saying Donald's a fascist, or Pam Bondi's a skank, or Kristi Noem is banging Corey Lewandowski? How many, Derek? Here in America, you get to say what you want and think what you want and believe what you want. And here's what I believe. I believe Donald Trump is a pig, and I know he's a fascist. I know he's insane, and I know the Republican Party, its members in Congress, are weaklings. Each of them, every one, is a moral coward, whether they wear the SEAL insignia or not. Any American who wishes to point a gun at another American because of what they believe is a domestic enemy of the Constitution. When it comes to Donald Trump's cabinet of freaks and felons and drunks and accused rapists and liars and frauds and sociopaths and grifters, calling those people out for what they are, it's as American as apple pie. Don't forget that. And do not be afraid of these people. Do not be intimidated by these people. Instead, when they scream at you, laugh back at them. And if there's a knock on your door because of something you said, don't invite the federal thugs in. Tell them to get the fuck off your property. Here in America, we have no king, and we certainly have no dictator. What we do have is a demented 79-year-old surrounded by sycophants pretending he is one because no one in 10 long years has told him he's full of shit. He lost an election and he's deeply unpopular, but he is. And so now the consequences of an election are laid perfectly bare. Let's understand the most important lesson, which is anybody who tells you elections in America don't have consequences and your vote doesn't count, maybe, just like Trump, they're trying to con you. And this is your warning on Monday, September the 29th.
I'm Steve Schmidt. This is The Warning. I invite you to join this community where I promise to be honest, blunt, and direct about what is happening in this country. America is in crisis. Follow and subscribe to this channel and on Substack. Thank you.